Hey everyone, it's Arus here, and I am here with the Tearlament deck profile, as promised. Similar kind of aspects really to the Light Swarm. We're just milling and milling and milling and milling and milling and seeing what we can do, what boards we can make. Adam Black, a friend of mine, tried to get me to play this deck for years since it came out, and every time I was like, no, I can't be asked, I couldn't be bothered. The whole tier 0 meta, I was like, no, I'm not interested. I didn't want to play it. Massive regrets. This deck is so much fun. It's like way back when Shadow was a thing and I didn't play that for a long time. I really regret that. So here I am now. As you can see, I've made an effort to make sure it's quite a pretty Tearlament deck. It's not max rarity, of course, because that's way, way, way expensive. But it's fantastic. This deck is great fun. It's a sleeper. It's not, I would call it like a rogue, maybe tier 1.5, tier 2. It'll compete at regionals. It'll maybe get a top at YCS and stuff. It's not strongest, but it's really, really, really good fun. With that being said, let's get on with the profile. So to start us off, we have obviously triple Tearlaments Rhino Heart. It's the best normal summon they have left. The thing you'll notice is almost all of the Tearlament cards have been absolutely destroyed by the ban list. So this is probably one of the better ones left because we don't have a lot left anymore. And this is a great starter. The ability when it's normal or special to use this effect and just send a tier monster from deck to the graveyard allows you to get your fusions starting. It allows you to trigger cards like tier cash as well. Rhino has obviously a secondary effect as well. If it's sent to the graveyard by the card effect, you can special summon this and then banish it when it leaves the field. So you can trigger its effect that way as well. And also it comes in handy for particular rank 4 plays. So playing triple tier cash. This one is fantastic. It's a quick effect. So during the main phase of either player's turn, you can special summon it from your hand by banishing a cash or tier card from your hand or your graveyard. Really important because if you open up with kind of a bricky hand, you can banish like your Suliak, your Metal Noise, any of your traps, and then recur them later with other effects and also get the special summon. It mills on summon, it mills in the incent as well, which is fantastic, and you get to use both of those effects. So this is essentially a mill 5, which is super, super strong, and it's a water as well. When it's special summon to the field, you mill the top 3. You can do your opponent's or yours. Normally you're just going to do yours, but you can do either. If it's sent to the graveyard by the card effect, you get to mill another 2 as well. So like I said, this is a mill 5 and it's an absolutely must have. Talking about Haveness, Merly, Shiren. All really good for different reasons. This one is when it's normal or specialed. You can mill the top 3. This one, you discard a monster in your hand to special summon it and then mill the top 3. And this one is great interruption on your opponent's turn because when your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, you can special summon that card and then mill 3. So, you know, these are super important, obviously, for your graveyard shenanigans, for your fusions. They're all a must-have. They're all at 1, obviously, depending what you think. I think this one is obviously the best, personally, but, you know, there is obviously reasons for Haveness to be included, and that is just because it is fantastic. So that's the tier names. As you can see, we don't have many, only 9. Rip. Then we have, obviously, the cards that got this deck partly banned to high heaven, the Ishizu cards. We have 1 Keldo and 1 Medora, the Shufflers. They're the only ones we have left, and we will play them. I'm sure you know what these cards do, but if you don't, you can banish it from the field or from the graveyard. Quick effect to return 3 cards from either player graveyard to the deck. Must-have cards. Really good for manipulation as well, and as well as being defensive. Playing a tiny, tiny danger package. 2 Nesses and a Moth Dude. Mothman is just because you can draw and discard. You can discard your tier cards. You can discard any cards that's dead in your hand. Spoiler, you can discard cards like your Malicious as well to get them into the graveyard. And then Nessie, it's a dark aqua, which is actually really important for your fusion plays. Not many Dark Aquas in the game. And obviously it has the same effect of a body on board, a draw, and if it's sent to the graveyard because it gets sniped, you can search them off man so you can continue playing. If not, they're just bodies as well. So there's just 3 of those. Then we have the Destiny Hero package. So we have Denier and 3 Malicious. We'll enjoy the 3 Malicious while we have it, because it'll no doubt be going back to 2 on the next list, because that's how Konami works. It's like a yo-yo. It's like Leicester City Football Club, you know, it's up, down, up, down, up, down. You know what these cards do. This is a very, very old card. This one is obviously a new one, newish. If this card is normal or special, you can take one of your Destiny Hero monsters from your deck, your graveyard, or your banished, and then place it on top of the deck. So like if you mill 2 of these, you can put it on top of the deck with a normal summon or a special denier, banish a Malicious Engraved to get the Malicious out, and this helps you go into Beatrice a lot easier. It also helps for some of your fusions because, you know, it's a dark, and then also, spoiler, you're probably playing and seeing that there's a Destiny Hero fusion in the extra deck as well. So sometimes a bit bricky, but you can unbrick quite easily with that. And then last but not least, obviously the Horus cards, the 3 Imseti and the 1 Happy. Look, so this isn't so much budget. They're slightly more expensive. They will be reprinted in the mega tins, so they will become budget eventually. But these cards are huge. They are so good for the deck. They're good for the Lights One deck. They're good for the tier deck. Your free zombie vampire, your free 3000 beat stick every single turn. These are great cards. It's also a dark as well with a different attribute if you do need to send it back for fusion inning, because you really only need 2 in the graveyard. So must have. If you don't have them or you can't afford them, just grab yourself some more dangers, stick it in there. That can work, or you can put like a small Bysteel engine in there as well. But that's all the monsters for the Monster Mill deck. So we get onto the traps. We just have simple 4 traps. We have 1 Trivakama and 3 Suliak. In the side deck, you can play things like Crime, Metal Nose as well if you want to. These are your main deck traps. This one, obviously, when it's sent from deck to the grave, allows you to get a Tearlaments monster from your deck, so you can start searching out your 1-Arbs, your Cash, or your Rhino Heart to continue your play. You can also banish it for the Rhino Heart as well. Not for the Rhino Heart, for the Cash Tier as well, so that's really good. And then Trivakama, which is basically it mentions you banish it from your grave, and you can add a card or a spell card that mentions Visas Starfrost, and you will see that you will simply banish that to search one of your 3 copies of Perla Rhino. Because Perla Rhino, when it's activated, you can add a Tearlaments monster or a Visas Starfrost from your deck to your hand. This card will be being reprinted, I believe, in Rarity Collection. Fantastic. This is an expensive card. It's unnecessarily expensive because tier, like I said, it's more of a rogue strategy. This is a must. You have to have 3 of this. This card is just insane. Gives a boost to the Tearlaments monsters. If a tier monster is shuffled into the deck or the extra deck, you can then target a card in the field and destroy it as well. That's really so good. This is good interruption if you've got the Havness in your hand to do it on your opponent's turn. You can special Havness, mill 3, make a fusion monster that can send a card or pop a card, you know, depending on what you want to do with it, and then trigger Perla Rhino to pop another card. So really, 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 really good. And also it's a starter as well to add your Shire in. If you have like a Perla Rhino and a Malicious in hand, then you're absolutely golden, because you can just Perla Rhino, grab Shire and ditch Malicious, and you know, your world is your oyster. We're playing 1 Grief and 3 Scream. Scream is fantastic. It's a perma spell. When a monster is normal or special summon, as long as you control a Tearlaments monster, you can send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard, and then all monsters your opponent's control will lose 5 and just have the rest of the turn. And if it's sent to the graveyard, you can get one of the Suliaks. So this is fantastic. This is great if you open up with like this and a Rhino Heart, then you can immediately get your combo started by going Scream, normal Rhino Heart, trigger 1, trigger 2, mill 3, and then send like a Tear Cash to mill another 2, or if you've milled better than that, you can send like a Shire and Havness or a Merly. If you send like a Merly and a Cash, you can chain link it so you get the mills for Cash and then activate the effects, providing you have a target, of course. And then Grief is another great one. So you special summon a tier monster from the deck or grave, and then send a monster you control with the same type of attribute as that special summon monster. And then if it's sent to the graveyard, you can add on the banished traps. So this will recur the Suliek if you banish it with Tear Cash, and then obviously you can tribute a Rhino Heart or one of the other tiers to get a different one. So really good. Flawless Burial of Goods and Flawless Burial. Flawless Burial of Goods will send the Scream or send the Suliek to the graveyard, so it's another card starter for you. So that's really, really good because you can send the Grief if you want to get a Banish Trap. You can send the Scream if you want to just add a trap. Or you can send the Suliek if you want to get one of your monsters and get your mills going. And then Flawless Burial, obviously, you can send the Malicious to the grave if you need to get it going. You can send one of the tier cards to the grave. You can send one of the Horus cards to the grave if you need to make the Zombie Vampire. There's just loads of really cool things you can do with that as well. We're playing 3 triple tap 6 talent. This card's just amazing, and also there is so many hand traps right now in Yu-Gi-Oh! This is going to maybe help you kind of mill out your bad hands. You can draw 2. If you've got control, you can see what they're playing, get early access that allow you to kind of build and change your board how you want to. Good thing about tier is it can play on your turn and your opponent's turn, and these will just facilitate and help that. And then we also have the Triple King's Sarcophagus. This is needed for the Tearlaments, not the Tearlaments, the Horus engine, which just gives you 3 level 8s every turn. Extra deck, we have the Toad package. We have Time Thief Redoer, Beatrice, Zombie, Vampire, and Typhon. These all serve different purposes. Obviously, Rhino Heart and Mud Dragon of the Swamp spoiler will make you Bahamut Shark, which will give you a free Totally Awesome. You can then link off your Bahamut Shark for something else if you want to, or you can fuse it away if you want to as well. Time Thief Redoer. This card is really, really good because this actually allows you to trigger the effects of the Tearlament monsters that are on this. So normally, obviously, when you detach, like with Bahamut Shark, you detach for cost, whereas Time Thief Redo is actually a detach for an effect. So you detach, banish this, then you send your like Shiren and your, I don't know, Rhino Heart or something else, and you can trigger the effects of the tier monsters. So that is really, really, really useful. Then we have Beatrice. Brad, this is for you. You know what Beatrice does. Zombie Vampire. This is what the Horus engine facilitates. This is your mill 4 and special summon. This can be insane in this deck because it can just absolutely trigger just mill, and it's just fantastic. And then Typhon. Typhon's really good if you're made to go second and you're playing against like Snake Eyes Cash. It'll be a little bit difficult, a little bit oppressive to play through. Typhon's going to allow you to kind of play into that board, and the effect of Flamberge and stuff is going to be negated due to the attack boost and stuff. So this is a fantastic kind of going second card, and it's any monster that you can just normal summon. So fantastic. Tiny Link package. I'm not playing Appaloosa, I'm not playing Access Code Talker. There's certainly valid cards, like you can play Access Code instead of the IP Masquerena if you want to. And that is perfectly fine because Access Code is really good. You could get rid of the IP and then the Typhon, for example, and play Celine and Access Code if you want like an easy kind of OTK line. I find Tearlaments can really kind of OTK from nothing anyway, but you can do that line if you want to. That's perfectly good. I've gone for kind of utility, the Dark Charmer, because you've got a million darks. You can get your opponent's IP back as well. This is just really good. It'll also help you if you want to kind of get one of their dark backs, trigger a tier effect, send them back, and then, you know, make a fusion. Sprite's Brind. I never used to see the value in this card when I was playing this deck until I actually played this deck. Holy shit. This card is incredible for your deck, and it's a great card. Really, really, really good. And obviously, well, you all know what SP Little Knight does. Unfortunately, not one for the budget, but it is what it is. And the fusions, we have Mud Dragon of the Swamp, Destiny Hero Dangerous, Garura, the Wings of Resonant Life, Predaplant, Dragasterpalia, and then in our Tearlaments deck we have a solitary Tearlaments fusion. Now, obviously, you can play Rule Kalos as well. Rule Kalos provides you need to play the Beast King of the Swamp or the King of the Swamps, the fusion substitutes. They're fine. You can perfectly play that. You can play the level 4 one, then it's also a Water Aqua, so you can normal summon it and make Bahamut Shark. If you do that, then the extra deck is quite a bit different, because you would also play the Dragon Grapher, which is really good as well. So again, that's what I love about this deck. You can play it in so many different ways, but this is personally how I've got this one set up at the moment. And obviously, these are all, this is access to your Beatrice, as is this. It's just fantastic. You can make Beatrice so easy. So yeah, that's my Tearlaments deck profile. Tell me what you think. Would you change anything? Is there anything you don't like about it? Tell me what you want to think. I might upload a combo video for this as well. It's a little bit more difficult because combo videos with Tearlaments can be anything or nothing, and it can be an interaction with your opponent, but we'll see how it goes. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, this is your boy Matt signing out.